Hi, welcome to Shocking Failures, the Dark Side of Experiments. In this documentary, we delve into the intricate web where scientific curiosity intersects with ethical boundaries. Join us as we uncover the hidden stories of 15 experiments that have shaped our understanding of the world, sometimes at a profound cost. From the depths of psychological studies to the forefront of technological innovation, we'll explore the delicate balance between progress and responsibility. Embark on this eye-opening journey with us as we shed light on the shadows of scientific experimentation and unveil the complex narratives that lie beneath the surface. In 1971, psychologist Philip Zimbardo embarked on a groundbreaking study known as the Stanford Prison Experiment. The objective was to explore the impact of situational factors on human behavior within the context of a simulated prison environment. To achieve this, volunteers were selected and randomly assigned the roles of either guards or prisoners. The experiment took place in a makeshift prison located within the basement of Stanford University's psychology building. As the experiment began, the volunteers quickly embraced their assigned roles. The guards assumed positions of authority and control, while the prisoners found themselves subjected to humiliation and loss of personal agency. Astonishingly, the behavior of both groups escalated to alarming levels within a matter of days. The guards became increasingly abusive, utilizing tactics of psychological and emotional manipulation, while the prisoners displayed signs of extreme distress, anxiety, and even rebellion. The experiment's findings illuminated the powerful impact of social roles and authority dynamics on individual behavior. It revealed the startling ease with which ordinary individuals can adopt aggressive and authoritarian roles, perpetrating acts they might never engage in under different circumstances. However, as the situation grew more intense, the ethical boundaries of the experiment were crossed. Participants began to suffer severe psychological distress, leading to the abrupt termination of the study after only 6 days instead of the intended 2 weeks. The Stanford Prison Experiment provoked intense debates about the ethical treatment of participants and the responsibilities of researchers in safeguarding their well-being. It also emphasized the necessity of informed consent and thorough debriefing following experimental procedures. The study's profound impact on the field of psychology underscored the importance of ethical considerations when delving into the complexities of human behavior within experimental settings. During the 1960s, a chilling plan known as Operation Monstrous, or more widely as Operation Northwoods, was conceived by the U.S. Department of Defense. The objective of this operation was to create a pretext for initiating a military intervention in Cuba, justifying it through a series of fabricated and staged events. The plan proposed a range of covert actions, including orchestrating terrorist attacks, committing acts of violence against U.S. citizens, and manipulating public opinion to rally support for a war against Cuba. The operation's documentation, which included memoranda and proposals, revealed the extent of the planning that went into these devious measures. While the plan was ultimately rejected by then-President John F. Kennedy and high-ranking military officials, its existence shed light on the potential dangers of manipulating information to manipulate public perception and pave the way for military aggression. The ethical implications of Operation Monstrous are profound. It raises questions about the responsibilities of those in positions of power and authority to safeguard the truth, the potential consequences of unchecked manipulation of information, and the delicate balance between national security concerns and the moral imperative to uphold transparency and honesty in decision-making. The revelation of Operation Monstrous serves as a sobering reminder of the lengths to which some may go to achieve their political or military objectives, and the importance of vigilance in questioning the motivations behind official narratives. It underscores the critical role of an informed and vigilant citizenry in holding those in power accountable and preventing the manipulation of information for ulterior motives. In the 1950s, the United States embarked on a series of nuclear tests under the umbrella of Project 4.1, with the most infamous test being the Castle Bravo detonation. The aim was to study the effects of nuclear explosions and advance the nation's nuclear capabilities during the Cold War. However, the Castle Bravo test yielded unexpected and catastrophic results.
underscoring the grave risks associated with nuclear experimentation.
The Castle Bravo test, conducted in 1954, was significantly more powerful than anticipated, releasing an enormous amount of radioactive fallout. The radioactive material spread far beyond the test site, contaminating the surrounding area and even affecting nearby inhabited islands. This unintended consequence led to severe health issues for both the local population and the military personnel involved in the test. The revelations about the Castle Bravo test prompted international outcry and brought to light the dangers posed by nuclear testing. This incident highlighted the need for ethical considerations in scientific research, especially when the potential consequences extend beyond the laboratory. It exposed the harmful impact of unchecked technological advancement on both the environment and human health, sparking discussions about the ethical responsibilities of scientists and policymakers in pursuing scientific progress while minimizing potential harm. The legacy of Project 4.1 and the Castle Bravo test serves as a stark reminder of the potential consequences of scientific experimentation, particularly in fields with far-reaching implications. It emphasizes the importance of considering the ethical, environmental, and humanitarian implications of scientific research and technological advancement, and the need for stringent regulations to prevent similar disasters in the future. In the 1950s and 60s, the Central Intelligence Agency, CIA, delved into a covert project known as MKUltra, aiming to explore the possibilities of mind control and behavioral manipulation. This secretive initiative aimed to develop techniques that could be used for interrogation, brainwashing, and influencing individuals' thoughts and behaviors. While the project's intent was to gain a tactical advantage during the Cold War, its methods raised profound ethical concerns. The MKUltra project employed a wide range of methods, including administering psychoactive substances like LSD, conducting hypnosis sessions, and experimenting with sensory deprivation. Some of the experiments were carried out on unwitting subjects, leading to serious violations of their rights and well-being. The lack of informed consent and the disregard for the potential consequences of these experiments demonstrated a blatant disregard for ethical principles. The revelations about MKUltra came to light in the 1970s through government investigations, sparking public outrage and legal repercussions. The project exposed the dark underbelly of scientific research when conducted without ethical oversight or consideration for human rights. It serves as a chilling example of the potential consequences when unchecked power and secrecy intersect with scientific experimentation. MKUltra remains a haunting reminder of the fine line between scientific exploration and ethical transgressions. It underscores the importance of transparency, informed consent, and responsible research practices, even in the pursuit of national security objectives. The project's legacy continues to prompt discussions about the ethical boundaries of scientific inquiry and the need for safeguards to protect human subjects from potential harm. In the 1970s, a controversial project known as Project Diversion unfolded in South Africa, shedding light on the dangerous potential of using science to promote harmful ideologies. The project's aim was to reorient gay individuals through aversion therapy, a practice involving the administration of electric shocks while exposing subjects to same-sex images. The goal was to condition negative associations with homosexuality under the belief that it could be cured. The project was not only ethically problematic, but also deeply harmful. It perpetuated harmful stereotypes and promoted discrimination against the LGBTQ+ community. The use of aversion therapy raised serious concerns about the violation of human rights and the abuse of scientific knowledge for political or social agendas. It demonstrated the dangers of allowing pseudo-scientific theories to drive research and public policy decisions, and the consequences of disregarding the well-being and dignity of marginalized communities. Project Diversion serves as a stark reminder of the potential for science to be weaponized against vulnerable populations. It highlights the importance of maintaining rigorous ethical standards in research, ensuring that scientific pursuits are guided by principles of respect, dignity, and equity. The project's legacy underscores the need for researchers to critically examine the motivations behind their work and to prioritize the well-being and rights of all individuals, regardless of their background or identity. The secretive regime of North Korea has been accused of conducting brutal experiments on political prisoners, uncovering a hidden realm of scientific abuse and human rights violations. While details about these experiments are limited due to the country's isolation and strict control over information, the allegations are deeply disturbing and raise serious concerns about the ethical implications of unchecked scientific research. Reports suggest that North Korea has engaged in experiments involving biological and chemical testing on prisoners, subjects who are unable to provide informed consent and are subjected to grave risks without their knowledge. These experiments point to a complete disregard for the ethical principles that underpin scientific research, including the need for informed consent, the protection of human dignity, and the avoidance of unnecessary harm.
The allegations against North Korea's experiments emphasize the urgent need for international scrutiny and accountability. They underscore the importance of ethical oversight and the responsibility of the global community to condemn and prevent such egregious abuses of scientific knowledge. The situation in North Korea serves as a cautionary tale about the potential consequences when scientific research is conducted in an environment devoid of ethical constraints and human rights protections. During the height of the Cold War, the Soviet Union secretly operated laboratories dedicated to the research and development of chemical and biological weapons. These hidden facilities became a source of deep concern for the global community as they revealed the potential for the proliferation of deadly weapons of mass destruction. The existence of Soviet poison laboratories highlighted the need for stringent international regulations and oversight to prevent the unethical use of scientific knowledge for destructive purposes. It underscored the dangers of unchecked scientific experimentation and the potential for research to be co-opted by political and military agendas. The revelation of these laboratories further escalated tensions during the Cold War and served as a stark reminder of the urgent need for disarmament and the responsible use of scientific advancements. The legacy of these laboratories persists as a stark reminder of the catastrophic consequences that can arise when scientific discovery is pursued without ethical consideration. It reinforces the importance of transparency, collaboration, and international cooperation in maintaining the ethical boundaries of scientific research and highlights the collective responsibility to prevent the misuse of scientific knowledge for harmful purposes. One of the most disturbing examples of ethical failures in medical research is the Tuskegee syphilis study, a study conducted by the United States Public Health Service between 1932 and 1972. The study focused on the progression of untreated syphilis in African American men, even when effective treatment became available. The Tuskegee study stands as a shocking indictment of racism and exploitation within the medical field. The participants, who were denied proper medical care, suffered severe health consequences as a result of the unethical experiment. The study revealed a complete disregard for the well-being and rights of vulnerable populations and demonstrated the need for comprehensive ethical guidelines in research. The legacy of the Tuskegee syphilis study continues to shape discussions on medical ethics and informed consent. It serves as a somber reminder of the dark history of medical research and the imperative to prioritize the well-being, autonomy, and dignity of research participants. The study's aftermath led to significant changes in the oversight and regulation of human research, emphasizing the importance of ethical principles in scientific inquiry. The Holocaust stands as an unparalleled example of human cruelty and the devastating consequences of unchecked power and hatred. Orchestrated by the Nazi regime during World War II, this systematic genocide targeted millions, primarily Jews, in a campaign of extermination that included horrific experiments on human subjects. The experiments conducted during the Holocaust were conducted in the most inhumane and degrading conditions imaginable. Victims were subjected to medical procedures without consent, including the testing of various poisons, diseases, and surgical interventions. These experiments, conducted by sadistic doctors in the name of pseudoscience, were a chilling illustration of the depths to which humans can sink when ethics and morality are discarded. the Holocaust serves as an everlasting testament to the need for unwavering adherence to ethical principles in scientific research. It highlights the danger of allowing science to be manipulated for nefarious purposes and underscores the importance of safeguarding human rights, dignity, and the value of every individual's life. Sigmund Freud, the father of psychoanalysis, revolutionized our understanding of the human mind. However, even his legacy is not immune to ethical scrutiny. One notable case is that of Emma Eckstein, a patient Freud treated in 1895 for severe psychological symptoms. Freud's treatment of Eckstein included an inappropriate surgical procedure, revealing the limitations of psychiatric knowledge and the complexities of therapeutic practices at the time. This case illustrates that even well-intentioned scientific endeavors can lead to unintended consequences and ethical questions. It prompts us to reflect on the evolving standards of medical ethics and the critical need for continuous examination and improvement in the field of mental health. The case of Emma Eckstein reminds us that scientific progress must be guided by a strong ethical foundation, ensuring the well-being and dignity of those seeking treatment. It underscores the importance of ongoing ethical discourse and the continuous pursuit of knowledge while upholding the highest standards of care for patients. During World War II, the Imperial Japanese Army's Unit 731 carried out a series of shocking and brutal experiments on prisoners of war, primarily Chinese civilians and Allied soldiers. The experiments aimed to develop biological and chemical weapons and advance Japan's military capabilities. The experiments conducted by Unit 731 were nothing short of horrifying. Prisoners were subjected to infection with deadly diseases, vivisection, and other gruesome procedures without consent or anesthesia. These actions amounted to severe war crimes, and the perpetrators managed to evade justice due to a lack of accountability after the war. Unit 731 serves as a stark reminder of the dark underbelly of scientific research when driven by malevolent intent. The atrocities committed underscore the importance of international laws and tribunals to hold those responsible for such crimes accountable. The legacy of Unit 731 also raises questions about the long-term consequences of war and the imperative to prevent the recurrence of such heinous acts through education, remembrance, and a commitment to human rights. Optogenetics is a cutting-edge technique that uses light to control brain activity, holding potential for treating neurological disorders such as Parkinson's and depression. By introducing light-sensitive genes into specific brain cells, researchers can manipulate neuronal firing patterns and investigate the brain's complex circuitry. While the promise of optogenetics is immense, it also raises important ethical considerations. The precise control of brain activity is a powerful tool that can potentially lead to unintended consequences or unknown long-term effects. The ethical use of this technology requires careful consideration of patient consent, safety, and the potential for misuse. Optogenetics exemplifies the need to balance scientific innovation with responsible research practices. Its potential benefits highlight the importance of ongoing ethical discussions and collaboration between scientists, ethicists, and policymakers to ensure that this remarkable tool is harnessed for the betterment of humanity while minimizing potential risks. Stimulceiver, a concept at the intersection of neuroscience and technology, involves implanting electrodes in the brain to stimulate neural activity. The goal is to treat neurological conditions such as epilepsy and Parkinson's disease. While this technology offers the potential for medical breakthroughs, it also raises profound ethical questions. The insertion of electrodes directly into the brain raises concerns about potential long-term effects, patient autonomy, and the risk of unintended consequences. The ethical considerations surrounding brain intervention require a delicate balance between scientific advancement and responsible implementation. Stimulceiver underscores the importance of a multidisciplinary approach where scientists, ethicists, and medical professionals collaborate to ensure the safe and ethical application of emerging technologies. In the 1940s, Soviet scientist Vladimir Demikhov conducted a series of shocking experiments involving the transplantation of dog heads onto other bodies. These Frankenstein-like experiments pushed the boundaries of ethical research and medical intervention, raising questions about the moral implications of manipulating living organisms. The experiments conducted by Demikhov underscore the ethical dilemmas that arise when scientific curiosity leads to actions that disregard the well-being and dignity of living beings. The chapter serves as a reminder that scientific advancement must always be accompanied by ethical reflection and consideration of the potential consequences on both humans and animals. The legacy of these experiments prompts us to engage in continuous discussions about the boundaries of scientific inquiry and the ethical responsibilities that accompany it. It reinforces the importance of maintaining a strong ethical compass even in the pursuit of groundbreaking discoveries. The concept of creating genetically modified animals to produce valuable materials has led to the development of the spider goat. Through genetic engineering, goats have been modified to produce spider silk proteins in their milk. This innovative approach holds the potential for unique materials, but it also raises significant ethical and ecological concerns. The creation of genetically modified organisms like the spider goat requires careful consideration of the potential consequences for the environment, animal welfare, and human health. The chapter emphasizes the importance of weighing the benefits against the risks and ensuring that scientific advancements align with ethical principles. Spider Goat serves as a reminder that ethical considerations must always guide scientific innovation. It highlights the need for responsible research practices that prioritize the well-being of animals, the environment, and human society. This case invites us to engage in a broader conversation about the implications of genetic modification and the ethical responsibilities that come with wielding the power to manipulate life at the genetic level. As we delve into the intricate tapestry of scientific experimentation, it becomes abundantly clear that ethical considerations are paramount. Each chapter of this journey through history has revealed both the remarkable potential of scientific discovery and the potential pitfalls when ethics are overlooked. From the shocking revelations of the Holocaust to the innovative possibilities of optogenetics and the moral quandaries surrounding brain manipulation, we are confronted with the immense power that science wields over our lives. But with great power comes great responsibility. The experiments we've explored underline that science should not operate in isolation from ethical contemplation. The pursuit of knowledge is at its best when it is guided by compassion, respect for human rights, and a commitment to the well-being of all. While some experiments have highlighted the darkness that can pervade scientific inquiry, others have showcased the profound impact that ethical reflection can have on shaping the course of research. The stories we've uncovered are not just historical artifacts, they are living reminders that the quest for knowledge is inextricably linked to our collective moral compass. As we navigate the frontiers of science, let us carry with us the lessons learned from these shocking failures and ethical triumphs. Let us honor the memory of those who suffered unjustly at the hands of unethical experimentation by upholding the highest standards of integrity in our scientific pursuits. Let us recognize that the responsibility to ensure the ethical conduct of research lies with each one of us, scientists, policymakers, and citizens alike. In the ongoing pursuit of knowledge, may we remain vigilant guardians of the principles that uphold human dignity, respect for life, and the betterment of society. Let this exploration serve as a reminder that science's true potential lies not just in its capacity to innovate, but in its capacity to serve humanity with unwavering ethical integrity. Thank you for joining us on this journey, and may our continued pursuit of scientific discovery always be guided by the light of ethical consciousness.